When did you know that you were going to be able to play Division I football? When did you know you had that kind of talent where you can compete with some of the best players in the country?
It started out, my eighth grade year. I played in kind of an All-American game in USA. And then after that year, I was going into high school, and I was still playing football, baseball, and basketball. I was a three-sport athlete going in. And then that summer, I kind of had a huge decision. Rather, I'll kind of, going to stick with baseball, stick with basketball, or stick with football. Because baseball has a huge season in the summer, or am I going to play summer basketball, or am I just going to stick with the summer workouts and summer practices with football? And that I kind of sat down with my parents and I kind of just talked about it. He's like, what sport do you think I'll have the most success at? And we decided football. And I'm very glad we did that. Because I dropped the baseball and basketball going into my freshman year, and then stuck with football. So this went into our kind of spring ball, which is our, like, right as we get out of school, we're starting out right back to like our spring ball scrimmages. And then, so like I said, I went to JV away and moved me up to varsity. And then, like I said earlier, like week 4, we're playing against Columbine, which is just known for having huge linemen. And I was kind of not the built kid I was right now, but I was a little scrawny, kind of scrappy kid. And I was going against a D1 guard that had 20 plus offers, and then I was going against like a 6'6", 300-pound guy that was committed to Hawaii. And that's when I kind of knew that game kind of clicked for me. It was like, well, if I can just do this and make a double team and not get pushed back by two guys that triple my weight, then I'll kind of be in a good position. We ended up losing the game by a touchdown, but probably one of the most memorable games of my life, because I kind of knew, like, this was going to be my sport going forward, because, everybody has their doubts about, what sport is going to be their sport, but that game kind of turned it on for me. Definitely knew that something special was there. So I continued to play throughout the whole year. I was a starting nose tackle, 3 technique, and just depending on, who's hurt, who's not. And then at the end of the year, I ended up picking up 3 offers from Power 5 schools, which kind of set off my recruiting process from there going into my sophomore year. And I kind of knew, like, my first offer was Texas Tech, and once I kind of got it from there, it kind of got the ball rolling, and, like, it was kind of thinking to myself, and I was sitting down with my trainer, it was like, this could be a future for me. This could be something that can take me to somewhere very special and provide many, many doors that could be opened up for me. So I really kind of focused on that off season going into my sophomore year. I was 6 days a week working out once or twice a day, speed work, strength work, getting on a diet, forming myself into, that guy that can, be that type of guy. I was ranked number 1 in the Colorado freshman and sophomore year. I had a lot of heat on me. Got that kind of factor in my sophomore year. It kind of really jumped off for me. And then from my sophomore year on, gained 15 plus offers. And that's when I kind of knew, like, this is going to be, the sport for me, and just the memories and kind of the brother that I've created with football. I think it's going to be a lifelong, lesson and journey for me that I'll never trade for anything in the world.
When you were growing up playing football, were there any other positions you played outside of defensive lineman? And if so, which one was your favorite one to play outside of defensive lineman?
Oh, 100% running backs. Mm-hmm. It was, I remember playing by a little league team. And then it was just always funny because we played this team called, and every time I ran the ball, I would, like, truck 2 or 3 kids over. I remember I popped the guy's tooth out, kid a concussion, and there were parents on the sideline yelling at, like, get this kid out. Like, this kid's not in the 2nd grade. Like, he can't be doing this. And it's so funny because I remember, like, vivid stories. This is a true story. I can't make this up, but I'm in like the 3rd or 4th grade, and you know how like Little League has weigh-ins, so you know, a patch or a double patch, and you know, I've always been a big kid. You know, I was always maybe like 3 to 4 inches taller than everybody, so you know, everybody thought, you know, oh, he's just old, or oh, he got held back. So I weighed in, you know, at our usual weigh-ins, and you know, like 2 days before, like I would just try to like skeet down as much weight as possible. Like my favorite like snacks were like ice cubes and like watermelon, and you know, I would just eat that all day. And my parents were like, "What are you doing? Like, you have dinner right here." It's like I was like, "Mom, I gotta make weigh-ins," and so we got weighed in. I was like 2 pounds under, so it's just huge, not a patch. Didn't have to play line. So excited. And like 2 weeks go by, and we're about to like go against like our rivals, and I can't make this up. I get pulled out of class by like just like a student aide or something like that. Walk down to the office. I get put in kind of this like meeting room, and I got 2 like cops like walk into the kind of little room, and I'm like 8 or 9 years old, and I'm scared as can be. I'm shaking. I'm getting all red. This is like one of my most memorable memories. The cops walk in and they're like, "Are your parents starving you?" And I can't have my backpack. I take out my lunch, and I had McDonald's. I think it was like a McDonald's burger and lunch. And I lifted up my shirt, and I was like, "Does it look like I'm getting starved?" And they were like, "You're fine." And they walk out within like 2 minutes, and then 3 weeks go by, and we're in like our championship. the same. It was a girl cop and a guy cop. The girl cop walks in, and I was like, "Am I in trouble again? Like, what did I do?" And I was like, I lifted up my shirt again, and then I was like, "Does it really look like I'm starved?" And she was like, "Okay, I believe you." And then never been bothered with again.
Well, I'll tell you this: you don't look like you're getting starved. That's for sure.
No, not anymore.
You're a big dude. I mean, every single video and every single picture I saw, you're a pretty big dude. We are talking to Kansas State football defensive lineman recruit Brayden Wood. You know, I'm a big NFL fan, and I've seen a lot of NFL linemen, you know, defensive linemen that have been drafted in the last couple of years, and a lot of them, like Garrett.
And how much you kind of want to get to the middle.
Brayden, in terms of influences when you were a kid growing up, not the current NFL right now, but when you were growing up, is there any players that you watch, whether it was a defensive lineman or a running back like you were saying earlier? Are there any other who was your influence growing up and maybe even model your game around?
That's tough, you know. I would say I have 2 kind of groups of people, especially my family, my uncles, my grandfather. You know, football players. You know, my father, Arizona State, my other, Illinois State, and my grandfather played at Colorado State. So they kind of set the tone kind of at an early age. And especially right now, I'm the only grandson from my grandfather that is, you know, get to be a football player. You know, none of the other, I think, 6 or 5 grandkids doesn't play football, and they're at the age where they can. But, you know, they're like stud lacrosse players, wrestlers. But you know, I'm kind of carrying the legacy, at least for my family. So I kind of knew, kind of growing up, that this is kind of my thing that I could do. And then another one, I know you said no NFL players, but J.J. Watt is a huge guy.
Who was it, Brayden? I'm sorry, you went in and out. What was the guy?
J.J. Watt.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So my main thing is it's what he does, you know, off the field and on the field. He's kind of the best of both worlds. You know, I'm pretty sure he was a walk-on at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
He was Pete the Boy to pay for his college, and so
he was also a tight end when he came into college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of had the same transition as me.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to play another position, got moved down. May not have liked it, but ended up, you know, turning out really well for him. and then, getting booed for being a first-round pick after, dominating his senior year. Especially kind of like in the snap of a finger how, he shocked the world with his rookie year and being, defensive player of the year, all-pro, certain amount of times, Pro Bowl, everything. It just shows you that, anything could be, anything could snap. You may be doubted, hated on, you'd just be, not even that, but it just shows you how, how anything can happen.
I agree with you. And I'll tell you this, Brayden. I am going to follow your college career. I want you to call the show. I want to get you on the show more than numerous amount of times. I want to know your input of the Big 12 and your growth as a college football player. And then when you do get drafted, hopefully by my New York Jets, because we needed. I'll tell you this right now: we've needed a pass rusher for years, and we haven't had one since John Abraham. And now, getting to know you as a person, your personality, I would love for you to get drafted by the New York Jets, and I will be following your college career moving forward, and I will be a big fan of yours. I love your intake, and not only your personal, background of your high school career and some of the stories that you've told us. Really, your confidence, and there's no ego to you. You're just a very confident young man who is looking forward to the college season. So I'm looking forward to getting the opportunity to watch you play and develop as a college football player.
No, I'm really excited. That'll be a dream come true, and I really appreciate all the words.
Absolutely. So, Brayden, why don't you tell the fans how they can follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at Bray, BRAY_Wood. Follow me on Instagram, Bray.Wood. That's about all the two socials I have.
And tell your family, tell your parents to keep feeding you, because whatever they're feeding you, you've turned out to be not only a dominant defensive lineman, one of the top recruits in the nation.
No, love it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Brayden, thank you for joining us.
Anytime. I'm really glad to be here.